Vice President-elect Mike Pence is one lucky man scoring a ticket to Hamilton tonight, the hottest musical on Broadway. His reception at the theater tonight was mixed, greeted with cheers and some boos. And as they took their curtain call, one of the stars of the musical had this message for him. Listen.
You know, we had a guest in the audience this evening. And Vice President-elect Pence, I see you walking out, but I hope you will hear us just a few more moments. There's nothing to boo here, ladies and gentlemen. There's nothing to boo here. We're all here sharing a story of love. We have a message for you, sir, and we hope that you will hear us out. And I encourage everybody to pull out your phones and tweet and post, because this message needs to be spread far and wide, okay? Vice President-elect Pence, we welcome you, and we truly thank you for joining us here at Hamilton, an American Musical. We really do. We, sir, we are the diverse America who are alarmed and anxious that your new administration will not protect us, our planet, our children, our parents, or defend us and uphold our inalienable rights, sir. But we truly hope that this show has inspired you to uphold our American values and to work on behalf of all of us. All of us. Again, we truly thank you for sharing this show, this wonderful American story told by a diverse group of men and women of different colors, creeds, and orientations.
I want to bring in now CNN's political commentators Matt Lewis, Tara Setmeyer, Kayleigh McEnany, and Angela Rye. This is New York. We let you know how we feel, right?
Sure.
What do you think?
Well, I think it's a shame that some people booed. I think that the comments at the end were fine and appropriate. But I just have to say, I love the Hamilton soundtrack. I haven't seen the musical, but I think it's one of the best things that's happened for America in years. And I think it's cool that Mike Pence wanted to go see it.
He's saying work on America. He said work on America on behalf of all of us.
You know, I have to say, for me watching that, and I grew up, going to the theater. My mom was in theater, and I love Broadway, and it's such a, integrated, environment there. Everybody, there's no race, there's no color, there's everybody gets along. And I look at that, and it actually saddened me that we're at a point in America where people feel as though our elected representative as vice president and president does not represent everyone. That there's this palpable fear with so many people in this country that they would have to do that. We've got to do something about this.
I worry though.
And that's because of the kind of campaign Donald Trump ran.
What if Marco Rubio were the president-elect and Mike Pence were his running mate, and Mike Pence went there tonight? I think he would have probably gotten the same harsh treatment, and I think that's unfortunate. I don't think it's just about Trump.
I don't know that Marco Rubio would have chosen a Mike Pence as a vice presidential candidate.
It's so funny to me to watch that, honestly, because you're sitting in the middle of New York City at a Broadway musical where tickets go for, I just checked, $835. These are the elites that were dethroned when Donald Trump became president-elect.
I'm sad that that's the only thing you got out of that.
And the booing that I saw there, it was, first of all, it was disrespectful.
There was cheering too,
but second, it just shows how out of touch the New York, LA, DC elite are from mainstream America.
Or maybe people really feel that way.
Why did he go?
Yeah.
Because I think he wanted to enjoy a Broadway musical. I don't think he expected to be chastised by the actors on the stage and booed by the crowd here in New York City. That is deeply out of touch with middle America.
Hold on. Mike Pence works for those people. Those people don't work for him.
Of course.
Those people in that audience and America hired him to work for them. They are free to express their opinion whether they like him or not. What's wrong with them expressing their opinion?
Of course they are free to do so.
But I don't understand calling them the elites. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people work really hard to pay for those tickets. Not everyone who goes to Broadway shows pay $800. People stand outside of tickets, TKTS, all the time to get cheap seats. Most people who go to those Broadway shows don't live here in New York City. They're tourists who come here from Middle America, and they don't make a lot of money.
Can I push back?
And they save up their money to...
The people on that stage in this Broadway musical chastising the vice president-elect.
They didn't chastise him.
And saying, yes, they did.
He said, we don't want to boo, but he said, I want you to work for all of us.
Before you play it, let me just push back a little bit. I think
this is so important because of who Alexander Hamilton was and this cast, which I happened to get to see this musical last year. We spent way too much money on the tickets. You can call me an elite. I'm being honest. Like, it was a sacrificial offering to go to this play. And what I want to say is this cast is so far from the elites. This cast is the representative of the American dream. They worked hard. They pulled themselves up by bootstraps before they had the boots on. They worked really hard to make it in an industry there wasn't space for them. And Tara, I know you said that race doesn't matter in this space. Oh, but it does. And
no,
so
I'm talking
often,
about the way that theater folks get along with each other and work with each other. I'm not saying the opportunities.
So often,
that's
right?
different.
So often, that's not the story that we can tell. But this cast is diverse. They had a Latino man playing Alexander Hamilton. They eliminated race barriers through this play. And the one thing that I would say that's so important to frame this is the lead character playing Hamilton now, no longer Lin-Manuel.
Yeah.
Manuel, sorry.
Yeah, right.
He is
openly
an
gay,
HIV positive man. And let's talk about
Javier Munoz, and he was part of Out Magazine's 100.
But Don, this is against a vice presidential vice president-elect who wanted to use HIV/AIDS money for conversion therapy. Yeah. Can you imagine what that's like for that man in that space? I think we can't just always say, it's about the elites or whatever. We have to look at things for their full experience,
this is the point
right?
I'm trying to make. You have the Hollywood elite, the media elite, the political elite, who looked at Donald Trump and his supporters and saw these supporters as deplorable. Everyone who supported Trump was racist, xenophobic, homophobic, all of these different words and labels, and they laughed at the prospect of a presidency, a Donald Trump presidency.
Kaylee, that's
but
all
he
true,
prevailed,
but how is that,
and he prevailed. He prevailed because he had a tailwind.
This is about.
He prevailed because he had a tailwind.
I agree with you. You're right. I'm conceding that, but I want to know how. I want to know, and I know Javier Munoz. We were both part of Out Magazine's 100 people who they honored for being out in media and out in the world, and he is a very nice guy. Openly gay and HIV positive. And to her point, can you imagine how that feels when Mike Pence has rallied and railed against gay people and tried to shoot down and block gay legislation? To him, this wasn't a chat. He's saying, I'm giving you a chance. This is how I'm listening with an open heart to him. I'm giving you a chance. Give me a chance.
Mike Pence loves all people, and President-elect Donald Trump already said he's not going to fight to roll back.
Mike Pence does not love gay people. His record shows that he does not love gay people.
President-elect Donald Trump has already said he's not going to try to roll back the rights that we've seen in the gay community.
I agree with you on that. Mike Pence has not said that.
But my point is there are a lot of Americans who can't even think about an $835 ticket to the theater because they can't even afford to put dinner on the table.
That's not what this is about. That's not what this is about. We're not talking about that.
You're jeering at those Americans.
You know what I hope, though? I hope that conservatives out. Sorry to interrupt.
No, that's okay.
But I hope the conservatives out there watching who haven't heard the soundtrack or seen the musical aren't turned off to this, because this is great, and I think for me it's conservative, but it's patriotic. It's a great story. And everybody should, and that's the politicization of it bothers me.
But also, we shouldn't continue to dismiss just because Donald Trump won and because Middle America had their voices heard, and that's great. But we shouldn't dismiss the millions and millions and millions of other people that don't live in the Rust Belt and other places like that in the red states that feel the way they feel. Millions of people voted for Hillary Clinton against Donald Trump because of the way he ran his campaign. So to dismiss that and just call people elites, somehow that doesn't make their feelings valid, I think is doing the same thing that you're criticizing the people who criticize Donald Trump for. It can't be both ways. Obviously, this is a real feeling. There's real division in this country. And Donald Trump and the way he ran his campaign and his supporters need to understand that. There needs to be some empathy for that.
Sure, there are real feelings, and I respect that. I respect that there are a lot of raw wounds right now. But what I don't respect are the attempts to further divide us. I respect immensely President Obama. He has done such an amazing job these last few weeks. I respect Hillary Clinton. She was so gracious in her concession speech, and they sought to build bridges and unite us after President-elect Donald Trump called for unity. They're not trying to divide us, and there are a lot of people out there who are trying to build up their name by dividing America further.
But this was a message. I saw this message as one of unification. I didn't see it as a divisive message.
We have to, I think that it gets really dangerous when we can't even hear the message of a protest. I think that it was like, listen, this is a problem for me and I'm trying to accept you, but you haven't accepted me,
I also have an issue with the whole elite thing.
I know.
Because I grew up in the South. I've lived in the Rust Belt. I've lived all over. There is a reason that New York City is New York City. There is a reason that Washington, D.C. is Washington, D.C. There is a reason that Los Angeles or Hollywood is because it exemplifies the best in the country in certain industries. This is the center of fashion.
The greatest
this
city
is
in
the
the
center
world,
of economics.
Hamilton, right?
It is the greatest city in the world, created by people like Alexander Hamilton and others. There is a reason that people live here. I don't mind. I'm actually very proud to live in a city called Elite. Hold on. In an elite city, Washington.
Right.
He lives here. It started his business
here. We're talking about elites, right? Excoriating elites. And Donald Trump is a billionaire who lives in a tower on Fifth Avenue with his name in gold everywhere he goes. And yet, he's not an elitist. That irony is not lost.
The problem is New York and D.C. and L.A. have been ignoring middle America for far too long. And they rose up and they said, enough. It's time to listen to me because we're the backbone of this country.
Sure, the elected officials,
that's what this moment was about.
No, I thought this was one of unification. I thought we were going to talk about unification, but that's not what we're talking about.
I think that part of what we can do, what we all can do, being media elites, because we're all sitting here 11 something on a Friday, is to try to hear each other too. Because I don't think that it was negative. He could have gone up on that stage and said,
"I gotta go,
what?
Elites. I gotta go, you elites. You elites.
I come from a blue collar family. First to go to college.
We'll be right back. Y'all have a great weekend. If I don't see you, have a good Thanksgiving. But maybe I'll see you next week. We'll be right back.